144Hz on a mid-range tablet? Seriously? Well, that's the promise of the Poco Pad X1, and is also guaranteeing smooth, flagship level performance, huge battery life, and perfect for work and play, all without premium price. But in this review, we're going to find out if that holds true, and we're going to test it to its absolute limits. The X1, for starters, comes with an 11.2-inch 3.2K LCD display with 144Hz and 800 nits of peak brightness. Now, the display may not be OLED, but it does offer top tier level performance in terms of its resolution. And if you watch about content on here, you get a truly great experience. Deep rich colors, great HDR with well balanced blacks, and fast moving images aren't distorted in any way, even if you watch it in up to 4K resolution. The borders across the display, I would say, are pretty acceptable as well, and they're pretty even all over. Now, in terms of design, you do get quad firing speakers to this side, to that side, and they're pretty sick. And then the build itself is an all metal unibody design and weighs roughly 500 grams. So the feel and look of the tablet is really, really impressive. But I would say if you game on this for long periods of time and you're holding it in your hand, you do feel the size of an 11-inch tablet quite a lot. And if you're enjoying video reviews such as this on the Poco Pad X1, then consider subscribing to our channel as we chase 50k subs in 2026. The front camera is 8 megapixels, the rear camera is 13 megapixels, and actually the rear lenses will actually capture images at 4K 30 frames per second with pretty decent quality overall, and that front-facing camera does overly brighten an image, but it's acceptable for video calls if you wanted to reach out to family or catch up on a meeting, etc. The camera systems are passable at best. The OS itself is Android 16 Hyper OS 3. And that's what we got pretty much straight away after setting up the tablet. We got that installation right away, which is pretty sick. In terms of software updates, I believe this is going to get between 2 to 3 years of updates. Some people are saying 4. 4 would be pretty good at this price point. Now, there's a lot to really, really like on this tablet, especially things like just navigating the menus and using it casually. You get stable 120 frames regularly without any issues at all. One thing I would say, we never hit 144 Hz. I think that's probably reserved for mid-level gaming, things like PUBG, for example, might hit 144 Hz, but we never got more than 120, which is still pretty good and pretty smooth on here. In terms of that OS, you do get some really, really good features, like multiple windows, which allows you to do 2 things at the same time, and then being able to resize those windows. We've seen this on the OnePlus Pad Go 2 recently, worked very well. Works just as well here and can handle pretty intensive tasks at the same time. On top of that, you get a suite of AI features, including things like expandable images, which basically means you can take a normal image, make it bigger, and magic eraser or AI erase as well. Again, the same thing. And I would say on the AI feature front, it's not lacking really in any way, shape, or form. Pretty much all the flagship A-level features, AI level features, are on here, which is pretty sick for a tab that costs roughly converted to about £350. Beyond that, one thing we've always kind of highlighted in our Xiaomi, Poco, Redmi reviews is bloatware. On here, oh my god, there's barely anything. In fact, there's a few Xiaomi Mi based apps, but beyond that, there's not much. And even those apps, like the video or music app, you can actually remove from the tablet itself. Other thing to note though on here, which is a little bit of a downside, if you were looking to buy a tablet such as this, like the X1, and use it for productivity, like work, etc., and you wanted an official case, you're looking around about £100, so that does bump up the price quite a bit, and that would be the only downside I would say. I think you could get a generic case, Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, and you're golden. The X1 is essentially a repackaged Xiaomi Pad 7. So what that means is you actually get a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3 out of box to use on this tablet, and it runs the OS and everything else really, really well. But where it shines the most, I think personally, is when you're gaming on games like Call of Duty Mobile. It runs very, very well. Sick graphics, really good frame rates, well balanced, 60 FPS is locked in at this point, no issues at all. And then when you combine that gaming experience and any content consumption experience, and you want to play it out loud, those quad firing speakers with Dolby Atmos, I guess is probably the best way to describe it, sound, chef's kiss.
Changing mag, cover me. Contact with enemy. Enemy down. Enemy down. Winning this one. We've taken the lead. UAV online. Enemy in sight. Predator missile awaiting orders. Changing mag.
And honestly, what stuck with me the most were the people I got to meet along the way. Those talks about our passion and then the line-up drives we had. That was very special for me.
Then the benchmark performance. So if you look at things like Geekbench, it performs pretty much in the mid-range for CPU and for GPU. But if you put this through 3D Mark's Lifestyle Extreme test, you get some really, really great results. 93.5% stability, so basically no throttling. And then battery consumption is only at 10%, which is pretty good for this tablet. And again, what we would highlight here is the heat management on this, even when you're gaming, is still pretty good. Now, battery life, 8,850 milliamp hours with 45 watts of wired charging. What we did want to highlight is when we gamed on this multiple games through Call of Duty Mobile, it used 1%. And that is with boost mode on, full display, everything running, speakers on, run perfectly. That's about 60% battery in terms of the brightness, sorry, not battery, 60% in terms of brightness. But what I'm going to say quickly is if you were to use this for gaming and gaming only, and you ramp that brightness right the way up and you game for a long period of time, you may not get an all-day battery. If you use it for things like browsing, streaming, video content, music playing, and some gaming, you comfortably get 4 to 5 hours a day from multiple days, which makes this battery really, really good. Much like the Xiaomi Pad 7, the Poco Pad X1 has a couple of issues. One, which we want to highlight, is lock screen wise, there is no fingerprint scanner on the display or on the power button. So it's PIN, password, or numerical is the only way you can unlock this, and your face, sorry, is the only way you can unlock this. And then the other one, which is a bit of a shame, is its availability. So this was actually imported in for us, and it's the global version of the tablet and works really, really well. No issues, software support is still there, but if you were to just want to go onto me.com and shop at the Xiaomi store, you can't. It's not been made available, which is a crying shame because I think this Poco Pad X1 has a lot going for it. Stunning display, great performance, excellent thermal management, and it kind of is a jack of all trades because it can do all the productivity tools that you want to do, all the multitasking tools, and it can do all the casual stuff like gaming as well. So if you're after one, it's probably worth doing some research and checking how you can get one imported in. If not, then consider something like the OnePlus Pad Go 2, which we reviewed recently, which will pop up top there and in our link description at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this review and the others that we've done, why not check out the rest of our channel and be sure to subscribe, like, and comment as we chase 50k subs in 2026. Until the next one, as always, we out.